right, now let's take a look at our latest business headlines. For help with that, we're going to bring in author and women in wealth expert Carrie Carbonaro, as well as business and markets analyst and Newsmax contributor Seth Denson. Good morning to you both. Okay, let's jump into those markets. They kicked the week off mostly up. Now, this morning, futures are down slightly ahead of the opening bell. Okay, let's talk a little Disney, the happiest place on earth, a little less happy this week as the first round of 3 layoffs begins. Carrie, what's happening over at Disney?
Yeah, so Disney is announced 3 rounds starting yesterday, actually, of 7,000 employees. It's a major cost-cutting move because last year their stock was down 44%, and they really want to save $5.5 billion with this move. And as you know, they were also in a war last year with my governor, Ron DeSantis, and so that didn't work out well for them either.
All right, so SVB may have been rescued, but America's banking crisis may be steadily pushing the U.S. closer to a recession. Seth, at this point, what's got economists concerned?
Well, when we see a banking crisis like this, banks start looking very closely at their liquidity capabilities. And so to do that, they stop lending money and or make the requirements to borrow money very stringent, meaning those that may need it the most can't get access to it. That's going to have an economic ripple. Secondarily, businesses. So businesses operate off of lines of credit oftentimes. So as banks start to think about, remember, banks on average hold only about 10% of their deposits and reserves. They invest the rest of that in the bond markets and other assets and in lending. So if lending becomes tighter, this could create an economic ripple that could have ramifications that could lead us into deeper recession.
Not good. Let's switch gears a little bit. Okay, so Chipotle is reportedly shelling out $240,000 to several former employees. Now, that's after shutting down the location that those employees worked at. Carrie, to you, what's behind this payout, and is it worth it in the end for Chipotle?
Well, so it's not their choice. They were ordered to pay the $240,000 to the former employees in Maine because they shut down the location because they were trying to unionize, which failed. So currently, Chipotle only has 1 location that's currently unionized, and the employees are getting ranges between $5,800 and $21,000 in cash payments.
Wow.
So that, and they are also being put on priority lists to get jobs at other Chipotle locations. So it's more of a slap on the wrist than really what Chipotle really probably wanted to do.
Interesting. Okay. How about this? So the amount of women becoming truckers has nearly doubled in just the last 5 years. As the industry tries to overcome a shortage of drivers, women now make up over 15% of that workforce. Seth, what do you make of this?
Good paying jobs. Women are very capable to do it. Listen, it's just like there's a lot talk this week. I saw stories about, World War II and the women that really stepped up and drove the economy. Well, now they're driving it again, quite literally. We have a massive trucking shortage. Hundreds of thousands of truckers are needed across the U.S. to get those supply chains going, and women are stepping up, as they often do, to answer the call. So I'm excited to see this. I don't care who you are. We need truckers on the road. So kudos to these women who are saying, we'll take it. By the way, these are good paying jobs.
Absolutely. How about this? So home prices are declining, but only in some parts of the United States. Carrie, why are home prices plunging in the West, but still managing to increase in the East?
So interesting. This is the first dichotomy we've ever had with East Coast, West Coast, double digits up and down. So super interesting. What's happening really is the shift in tech and tech workers and people being able to move out of the higher price places into where they want to live. And so what's happening is Silicon Valley and San Francisco are down double digits year over year, over 10%, and Florida is up 10% year over year. So we have not seen that big difference ever really in history. So it's very, very unique.
Yeah. Okay, let's stick with homes for a second. So for those who are looking to renovate or update, not every home improvement will get you the best return. Seth, so many of us are into those home improvement shows. We all want to renovate, but what are experts saying will get you the most money back?
So I am keenly aware of this. Jenna is an interior designer and is constantly looking at my wife, different things that we should be doing to improve the quality of our home. But interestingly enough, as life shifts, the old idea, remember, kitchens and bathrooms used to be where it was. There was a magazine that was called Kitchens and Bathrooms for a time. And while those can still bring you bang for your buck, the thought process here is don't overdo it. In essence, people are looking at the image of things. They want curbside. They want to see how things look. We're in an Instagram world now, not necessarily the functionality and reality of things. So be careful about where you spend your money, but because of where prices are, you can still get a good deal or good return on that investment, depending on where you spend it.
Interesting. And your wife, she would know best. So finally, Ken Griffey Jr. has not appeared in an MLB game since 2010, but he's the highest paid player on the Cincinnati Reds payroll this season. That sounds kind of crazy. Carrie, in about 15 seconds, what's going on here?
So interesting. He's 53 years old, and his long-term contract that he negotiated was his payout was going to be from 2010 to 2024. So here he is now, all these years, decades later, and still getting paid.
That is
the fourth highest.
Unbelievable. Not too shabby. Carrie Carbonaro, Seth Denson, thank you both for coming on this morning. Always a pleasure.